about like, okay, why do I want to do this? Why do I want to become that type of person? And then when you have that motivation that very clear in your mind, it's easier to kind of, yeah, to kind of just like start in a
Yeah.
way. So
No, I think that's amazing.
Welcome to Chumble's Habit Hero series, where I speak to people brave enough to start their habit adventures and let us in on their highs and lows. I'm Robin, and today we're joined by Laura. Laura shares her journey of introducing exercise and healthy eating, all while moving back from Germany to her home in Colombia. We'll speak about understanding our motivation, the importance of doing things you love, and trusting the process. Enjoy.
So let's dig straight into it. Very interested to know, like, what has got you interested in habits? Why do you focus on them?
I think for me was like I knew I needed to work a little bit more on my habit formation. So when you started the whole Chumble program, I was super attracted to it, and I thought like there are some things that I wanted to improve in my life. And now also with the pandemic and everything that was going through this year, I realized that there are some things I wanted to do better in terms of like eating healthier, like doing a little bit more exercise, having a little bit more time for myself in terms of self-care, meditation, kind of like also taking better care of my skin, of my body, of the way I eat. So many things to kind of level up the levels of energy I had this year and to keep it that way. And yeah, I think it was mostly that kind of desire of improve, but that self-care.
Yeah. No, I love that. And you're already mentioning a lot of different things, a lot of
Yeah.
different habits with loads of different benefits. And in the process of trying to introduce these habits, what have been some of the biggest learnings for you?
I think, I mean, maybe one of the biggest learnings was like, okay, you have to start somewhere. It's like there is, because I don't know, we have like, and more now in December, you feel like, okay, 1st of January, I will start with my habits or with the new things I want to introduce in my life. But I think you could start at any point and you just need to start with something, with a small step at a time. And then slowly will start becoming something you want to be doing, and you want to be doing it, and it's not like because you have to do it, because you will get to a point that you enjoy it so much that you want to keep doing it. And I think the other part is like you also should, or at least in my case, I also learned like to be a little bit gentle to myself also. For example, the days I didn't manage to achieve what I wanted to achieve in terms of habit formation. So it was like some days like, you have that guilty, or like, like, yeah, I didn't do it, or like I should have done exercise, or I should have done this and that. But sometimes it's also okay to take a break and to say, okay, I didn't do it, but then maybe I can do something smaller or different. Or so I think it's like the little balance of like wanting to achieve your objectives, but also like being gentle to yourself.
Yeah. So you mentioned two very beautiful things. So that aspect of having that intrinsic motivation, actually doing something that you love, as well as like the acceptance, to not turn one failure into like a vicious cycle where you fail over and over again. When we speak about that intrinsic motivation, do you have any examples of activities that maybe in the beginning didn't really feel like you enjoyed them, so you dropped them for something that maybe you did enjoy a bit more?
Yeah, I think, for example, with exercise, because I mean, I like exercising, but for example, at the beginning, I was trying to go jogging, because when I talk to people, everyone was like, yeah, jogging is like you can achieve a lot only with jogging, because it's like a lot of calories, a lot of stuff. But I hate jogging. I hate it. So I'm like, okay, at the beginning, I just tried it because I was like, okay, it's a good thing if everyone is doing it, because like, it's a good thing. But then at some point, I was like, no, I'm not enjoying it at all. So what can I do instead that is also maybe giving me, maybe not the same amount of calories burned, something like that, but at least give me that feeling of like I'm exercising, like being active. And then I changed it for biking. because I enjoy a lot biking. So, and also I found also a couple of friends who also enjoy biking. So it has been like a super nice journey because we started doing it on a regular basis. It's something that I super sorry enjoy, and I also share that time with my friends. So I don't know. I think it's like kind of achieving the same objective in a way that is like getting active, doing like waking up and getting out of your bed and doing something, but you add that part that is like something you fully enjoy. So in that sense, I think that helped me to keep the habit, to keep it, because if not, it would have been like just jogging. It would have cost me much more effort to actually do it. So
Yeah, yeah. And I think like you're touching on a lot of important aspects. Like as you said, like having those friends that support you, like that social support around you that helps you be more successful, and finding something that you love. Really, really amazing to hear. And then when you speak about that piece of acceptance, and kind of like not dwelling in some of the setbacks that you experienced, what is an example where you experience that a difference versus how you started off maybe to how you feel at the moment?
mm, I think maybe when you start somehow realizing the benefits, like the real benefits, is a moment that you're like, okay, I really want to keep doing this because I see that this is having an impact. Because at the beginning, when you're just starting, is of course, I mean, everything takes some time. Everything is a process, so it's difficult to see the benefits direct from the beginning. So you could be a little bit like, yeah, I mean, should I be really waking up so early or like doing this extra effort to do this or that if I don't see any benefit? But then slowly these benefits start to show up. For example, in my case with the exercise, I was feeling a little bit more energetic. Or for example, now I'm doing a lot of hiking also with my brother. And it's really like super difficult hiking that you have to go up like mountains, and it's like difficult things, and I feel super strong, or in terms of resistance, that I can do it. I never feel like, oh my god, I cannot anymore. And then I knew maybe 6 months ago would have been completely different. I would have been maybe in the middle of the of the thing. I would have said, okay, you know what, I cannot do it anymore. But I feel
Yeah,
like slowly I'm getting like these benefits that you slowly start seeing just with time and
yeah,
patience. So I think with habit building is really a lot of sticking up to like sticking to the process, because sometimes if you don't see benefits from the beginning, you could like say, yeah, you know what, yeah, I don't want to do it anymore. But it's just like trust the
yeah.
process in a way. It makes sense.
No, I think it does. And would would I say it correctly if so these setbacks are much easier to navigate once you have a strong idea of like what you're gaining from it and what you're kind of working towards?
Yeah, exactly. Because I think like when you have these setbacks, I mean, as you said also before, it's like it's good to kind of have maybe that support circle. I mean, for me, for example, when I had those setbacks, was like, okay, if I had a support circle, it's easier to kind of go back on track. Because if you don't have the motivation on that day, someone else has it, and then they push you in a way to do it.
Yeah,
Or also to kind of think about like, okay, why do I want to do this? Why do I want to become that type of person? And then when you have that motivation that very clear in your mind, it's easier to kind of, yeah, to kind of just like start in a
yeah.
way. So
No, I think that's amazing. Thank you for sharing, of course. And so you speak about all of these amazing habits, the eating, the exercising, the mindfulness. What benefits do you think you gained from these positive habits?
I think, I mean, of course, more like maybe than or losing a little bit of weight, or like getting that energy or all of that. I think even maybe more important than that is like that awareness in a way that is in the back of your mind going forward, that maybe sometime, I mean, could be that maybe one day you didn't do it, or one day you kind of slip through through the cracks,
Yeah,
and you were like, okay, I mean, I couldn't manage today, but in the back of your mind that is there and you want to do it, and then you kind of start getting that intrinsic motivation in
yeah,
a way. And then it's easier to go back because you know you want to do it, and then I mean for whatever reason you didn't do it on a certain day. But I think that's to me like the most important thing in a way through the whole program, that it creates that awareness that before maybe I didn't have. I was like, okay, I want to do exercise, but it's like that the goal in mind was not so clear. So to have that kind of super clear in your mind
Yeah.
gives you that level of awareness of why do you
Yeah.
want to do it.
Yeah. No, I love that. And then you mentioned that like sometimes you sleep a bit late, you miss an exercise, it happens to the best of us. What has been the biggest difference for you? Do you notice it in the moment? Is it something that you reflect back on, or how should we see that?
Like, you mean in a moment that it was difficult, or?
Yeah. So in the moment, the moment you wake up late, now versus when you did so before, what is the biggest difference?
Mm, I think also like I try to plan much more my day before. So for example, before I was like, yeah, just waking up late and not really having like a plan in mind. Like, I want to do this, I want to do that, or like these are somehow my habits that I want to achieve next day, or this certain
Yeah.
stuff that I want to achieve next day. So if I was waking up later or not, I didn't care so much because I didn't have that goal in mind.
Yeah.
But now it's like, okay, if I want to do something, then I kind of prepare a little bit my environment in terms of, for example, telling my friends the day before, hey, are we going for a bike the ride tomorrow, or my mom, or like I kind of put my alarm or prepare my stuff and get myself mentally ready for that. So I think that's also something that had helped me in some moments to
Yeah.
kind of get my surroundings also to support me
Yeah.
in
No, I
that
think that's
in that
amazing.
journey.
Yeah. That like situational support, like creating an
Yeah,
environment that increases your success rate in your habits.
exactly.
And I think
Exactly.
that's amazing. So all of these positive impacts, all of these benefits that you get, are there also still some challenges that you're facing at the moment?
Mm, I think, I mean, to me, it's like sometimes because I also wanted to start eating a little bit healthier, or like to not to become vegetarian or vegan, just like healthier in a way.
Yeah.
And I think that's also something I'm slowly working on, because I think I need to focus more on the why. I think on these certain things, like
Yeah.
why. Yeah, what do I want to do it? Because sometimes it's like, if you have maybe surroundings that are not supporting that goal. So for example, if you have friends that are like going for this amazing food sometimes, or like, or for drinks, or I don't know, it's like you have to have like a strong will in a way to kind of stick to your habits and to the why in a way.
Yeah.
So that sometimes costed me a little bit of effort, to put it that way.
Yeah. Nice. No, I love that. And then, as a final question already, I would love to ask, like, what would be the best piece of advice you could give to someone else trying to introduce habits?
I think, as I mentioned at the beginning, I mean, you just need to start somewhere. I think if someone is trying to start building habits, not let it like, okay, for Monday, or like, okay, I will start next Monday. It's just like start at least with something. It's like if you were like going for, I don't know, 20 minutes of exercise, and try next day maybe to 22 minutes, 23 minutes, that you feel like slowly you are like kind of increasing that level. And also don't feel guilty or like ashamed or something also with yourself if one day you couldn't manage. You just like try to manage that, kind of being gentle to you, but also slowly starting somewhere. And what is important to you, and try to me, is like the most important is also try to find ways to enjoy it, because that's the only way that is going to be sustainable over time. If not,
Yeah.
it's just like you're doing it for a certain period of time, but if you don't really enjoy it, it becomes like a burden in a way.
Yeah.
So that would be my three advices
Nice. No, I
instead
think
of
that's
one.
amazing. You mentioned a lot, like to really find something that you really enjoy doing, like that intrinsic motivation that we discussed. What helps you find activities that you enjoy doing?
I think, I mean, for example, like the biking is because when I was living in Germany, I was going a lot to work and coming back and going by bike, and I really enjoyed it. I was super happy just to do it. And when I was trying to exercise here in Colombia more, I was like, yeah, why don't why should I try maybe biking again, because I knew I loved it when I was in Germany. So maybe I will just give it a try again here instead of going for jogging that I never really liked. And yeah, I mean, I went back to that, and I loved it. Or also try to explore new stuff. So sometimes it's like maybe things you haven't tried before that you didn't even know you liked or not. So I think in that sense, it just also be open to explore new things and to also be honest to yourself and say, okay, this is something I enjoy, or this is something I just, no, I better try again something new. So
Yeah. No, I think that's beautiful advice. Thank you so much for your beautiful wisdom, and I would like to thank you a lot for being our guest for today. Thank you, Laura.
thank you, Robbie. No, and I think, I mean, the program is amazing. What you have put together in terms of like Chumble, the models, and the whole thing is really like eye opening, and it's really like a way to push us out of that comfort zone in terms of habits. And I think that's a great journey. If we could keep to stick to that or keep it up after the whole program has finished, I think that will bring huge benefits to us in terms of like building that happier lives. So
Excellent.
thank you for that, and thank you for having me.
No, you're most welcome.